What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. So today marks day 30 of my challenge number 4 of my Master in a Month challenge, where I took on trying to learn how to code and create a mobile game in 30 days. This challenge has absolutely been mind-blowing. I have learned so much. It has been so much fun, and to actually have for you guys news that GS Flip is on the App Store, available for download for free, excites me so much. So I have successfully created a mobile game in 30 days and have uploaded it to the Apple App Store for download. So I'll give you guys a run through of what the game is, and so you guys can get an idea and understanding of what I had to do and what was involved in order to actually create the game. So I started off with the design. So once I knew what my game was going to entail, I went on to just GIMP, the free Mac software, and just made up the rings, made up the balls, and that was pretty much it. Oh, and the logo, and that was all I needed for my design. So that was nice and easy. Did that within a day, and I was ready to move on and add that into the code. So basically how it works is I've created 2 spinning wheels, one side black, one side grey, and 2 balls drop down at the same time, either black, grey, black, black, grey, grey, and the user has to rotate each wheel independently to match the falling balls. So I decided to go with 2 components just so I could learn about the spacing, how they are on the frame, because as all iPhones are different, I couldn't just put them to a fixed place. They had to be able to adjust to whatever the screen width and size was. So I had the 2, so then there was 2 individual components, balls falling, and being able to score off that. Once I had the wheels, the colors, the balls being able to fall with physics, I then had to have contact classes where basically said, okay, if it's a black ball and it's a black hoop, give the player a point. If it's the other side grey, game over. So there was that component as well that took me quite a while to get. I did have some issues with calling the game over method, so basically saying when the ball hit the wrong color wheel, game over. But when it was the player had both of the colors wrong, then it kept crushing my game because I was calling the same method twice and the game just didn't like it. But it was awesome and exciting once I finally got over that roadblock. To be honest, that was probably my biggest roadblock of this whole challenge, was just trying to figure out what I could do in order to not make that crash. I ended up finding a way with a guard statement that basically said, if game over has already been called, don't call it again. It was a 1-line code and it fixed all my problems. So I used the Stack Overflow website, which is basically any developer's Bible, where you go, you post a question, you find questions, and there's just everybody answering it for all different types of things, different languages and everything. So I seeked help from there. So about after a day, I got an answer back with an amazing explanation as to why we need to put that in. And so that helped me amazing. Got me past that roadblock, and I was good to go. Then it was awesome. Once I had the coding actually completed, then it was time to add the music in. So the music, I just went onto GarageBand, just played around for it for a little bit, and then found a great sound, added some bass to it, had my melody, added some rhythm to it, and it was done. 16 bars, looped over, all I needed. And then once the song was actually done, I had to figure out the code to actually implement it into my game and have that running on the loop. So I figured that out. I then put a sound effect of when the balls would hit the wheels. If you got the point, then a little beep sound would go off. And then that was pretty much it. I was going to implement Google Ads onto it. I did set it up, but how my code was laid out, it wasn't really working as effective as I thought. So I thought, and for you guys to not annoy you with ads being popped up, I thought I'll leave it for this one, and then maybe next game I'll start implementing the ads. But that's pretty much the overview for my game. So that's pretty much it. That pretty much sums up my game and how I made it. So scoring for this challenge. So after every challenge, I've decided to do a scoring system based on 3 factors, just to give you guys an insight of my experience and my opinion about the challenge. So if you hadn't given it a go yet, you can kind of see how I felt about it, and if that can convince you guys to start it. But basically the 3 components: difficulty, benefits, and recommend. So difficulty, going off those tutorials on Udemy, it wasn't too hard. So when I would watch the tutorials, obviously the first time running through, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just copying the code, writing it down, accepting it for what it was. And that's why when I would do the tutorials, I would rewatch them, switch it up, do different components, do different movements, and that generally helped me understand it so much more, because I then had to actually think about that code and go, okay, what are you meaning by that? I don't want to do it that way, I want to do it this way. So then I would have to seek tutorials or advice elsewhere, Google it to understand those other little components, and then implement it into mine. So after watching this particular tutorial twice, after that second time and doing it my way, definitely helped me. And it wasn't really that hard. It was pretty easy to Google to find out how things worked, and that I was actually surprised at how easy it is to code. So for difficulty, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Especially if you're going just straight off the bat yourself, obviously a bit difficult. You can't just learn French or German by not looking at anything, so you do need a good structured learning plan, and that will help you. So for it, 3 out of 5. So number 2, benefits. For everybody in the world, I mean, just to live longer and a healthier life, you don't really need coding. But if you are a person that loves technology, wants to kind of get into that industry, and seeing as though the world is kind of moving into that direction, knowing just a fundamental understanding of coding, whichever language it is, I feel as though is beneficial. For me, and loving to do the games and wanting to move into that industry, it was definitely beneficial for me, and that's why I did this challenge now while I had a little bit more time. And so for me, it definitely was beneficial. For you guys, if you are looking to go into that path, definitely beneficial. So for an all round, I will give it a 3 out of 5. And last up, recommend. Again, if it's a career path that you have ever considered or wanted to, not even that, but just with web design, anything technological, if you are wanting to go down that path, definitely highly recommended. If not, and that's not really your thing, don't see why not. But again, a fundamental understanding of everything definitely will allow you to go that extra step into your career, into your life, whatever it is. So for recommended, I will give this a 3 as well, because it was so much fun for me. It was so much fun making a game. Like, it's crazy that I can just write stuff out on the computer. I can now pick up my phone and play my game. That is amazing. So recommend 3 out of 5. So all up, that gives it a 9 out of 15 for my Master in the Month challenge number 4, taking on learning how to code and create a mobile game. So that pretty much sums everything up. So download the game, Google GS Flip, get it going. Let me know what your high score is. Send it through. Send in the comments. Send in my Instagram, jml.fit. Show me how well you can go. Show me if you find any bugs. Show me everything. Show me if you like it. Show me if you hate it. Send it to me. I want to know. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. That sums up my challenge number 4 of my Master in the Month challenge. See you guys in challenge 5. Catch ya.